In this video, I want to share with you how to start controlling your mind, how to be the witnessing presence that is in control of thoughts, being able to think when you want to for practical purposes, and being able to turn off that psychological constant stream of thought that causes suffering, that creates unnecessary friction and obstacles in your path. So I get a lot of comments and I get a lot of questions sometimes, and people think that I think that the mind is negative or thoughts are bad. So sometimes, I even get questions like, okay, is it okay to think when I'm doing this? Is it okay to think in order to do this? So I wanted to kind of clear up before we even further get into the video that thoughts are not bad. They're not destructive in their own right. The problem is not thoughts. The problem is not mind, which, by the way, are the same thing. Mind and thoughts are the same thing. There's no separate entity in your head called mind thinking thoughts. Mind and thoughts are one. And so mind is not the problem. The problem lies in your identification, your unconscious identification with the mind. So here you have to ask yourself, what is your experience of yourself apart from mind? You say you clicked on this video, right? You say you want to control your mind. Well, what do you know of yourself? What are you? Who are you apart from the mind, apart from thoughts? Because if you really inquire deep, all your thoughts are what craft your mental image of who you think you are, who you claim to be, this person, this personality, having these preferences, having these goals. Even having the desire to control the mind is coming from that mental construct, which is your person with a name and a history and a past. What is your experience of yourself beyond this mental construct, which is itself mind, which is itself thought? Only when we learn to recognize that, which is beyond thought, can we actually come from that place and be the controller of mind. If you ever want to control your mind, right, you can never be at the level of mind. If you're identified at the level of mind, you cannot control thought. That is your entire reality. Only when you come from beyond the level of thought identification, mind identification, can you actually direct your thoughts. Can you actually choose? Okay, so the problem is not mind. The problem is your level, your identification of or with mind. The problem is that you've forgotten your true place as the one, the witnessing presence beyond thought, that is prior to thought, that is aware of even thought. Thoughts cannot exist without you, but you can exist without thoughts. When thoughts stop, you still are here. You still exist. Whereas, thoughts need your presence. They need your awareness in order to have any existence. So the problem is you forgetting your true place as that witnessing presence and unconsciously falling into identification at that mind level, where your entire mental construct of your ego, your preferences, your conditioning, everything is right here at that mind identification. So even when we try to create our own reality from this level of mind identification, it's hardly effective. We believe we are in control, but it is the illusion of control. The only real control is recognizing what you are beyond mind, and only then can you actually control your mind, and then can you control your life. I know we're going deep here today, so stay with me. And you're going to have to watch this video a couple of times to really understand and internalize, what we're talking about here. Don't try to take notes. Simply just listen with an open ear and allow that something inside you to be triggered. So thinking is completely fine. Thoughts are completely fine. For the creation process, thoughts are fine, right? To achieve goals, to plan out certain things on a physical level, on a practical level, thoughts are completely fine and they're necessary. However, if you are identified with mind, if your entire experience of yourself and your life is me as this person, right? Like, creating my reality, even though you say, oh, you believe I am not my thoughts, I am not, this and that, and I'm a spiritual person. But if you live your life like you are identified at this thought level, and you could be honest with yourself if you are or not right now, because there's nothing wrong with it, it's just waking up to what you actually are, what we need to do. So if you're identified at that thought level, then your mind will be destructive. The problem is identification with mind. If we are identified with mind, then the mind controls us. So Eckhart Tolle in the book Power of Now put it really simply. When you are identified with mind, you don't control the mind. You don't control your life. Your mind controls you. Your mind controls your life. And that's why so often you find yourself in a position in life where you say, damn, why aren't things the way that I want them to be? It's because you're not necessarily in control of your daily actions even though it seems like you're doing everything. It is the illusion of action. It is actually the mind that is even, influencing your actions, your day-to-day behaviors, what you do, even your desires, your resistances. So then the solution is, right, to come back into control of your mind, the solution is to start to recognize your true position. What are you, the one that is perceiving even the mind? You need to start to recognize that and isolate that away from thoughts. First, how to know if you're in control of your mind or your mind is in control of you. Right now, if you cannot stop thinking at will, your mind is in control of you. You are mind identified. Simple as that. And this is also from Eckhart Tolle. He put it very simply, and it's beautiful. He said, if you cannot stop thinking at will whenever you want to throughout the day, you are being controlled by the mind. You don't have the on and off button. And so now the solution, once you're honest with yourself, am I in control or is my mind in control? And don't try to play it off like it's something little. Oh, no. So, I am in control. Even though I can't switch off my mind fully whenever I want to, I'm still in control. Be honest. Allow yourself to actually penetrate deeper. The more honest you become, the more open you become to what is being said in these sorts of videos, the more you actually allow yourself to grow into the true position, to stabilize and recognize that true position. So we need to start to learn to recognize ourselves apart from mind and isolate our attention towards just being with that, right? Because anytime you focus your attention on anything, usually everything else is excluded out of your view. For example, I'm completely focused on the lens of this camera right now. And because of that, the lens of the camera is very, very focused. It's very detailed. I can see everything, little from like the ridges and everything. But everything else in my external view is completely blurred out. Become aware of this right now as you're watching this video. My face, maybe like the entire video, the screen that you're watching on is very, very detailed, but everything else is blurred out. That's just the way attention works. In order to really focus on one thing, everything else is blurred out. So in order to now create this shift from mind identification to self-referral, to recognizing the self, I, the true I, rather than this falsely identified I, what we call ego, we need to now place our attention on our experience of I and exclude all other objects of perception out of view, including thoughts and emotions. We need to simply be aware of our awareness and let go of all thoughts, all perceptions, all feelings, all beliefs, all personal identities, even the thought of who you are, what your family is, what your bank account looks like, what your goals are, and just reside with that sense of pure awareness, the sense of pure I exist. You exist, no? How do you know? Go directly to your experience and sense, oh, I am. I exist. So as you're right here, simply focus on that. Learn to bring your attention so intensely just into that. Create gaps in the stream of your incessant thought activity again and again. Just cut through the stream and make the gaps longer and longer. It starts from 2 seconds, it goes to 10 seconds, it goes to 20 seconds. First it happens through effort, eventually it happens naturally and much more effortlessly. But ride out the storm if you're in the beginning right now. Create those gaps of no thought and simply recognize that you are aware. That is a couple of seconds of awareness, recognizing that it is aware. And in those moments when you drop all thoughts, all perceptions, all everything, just focusing on the sense of pure existing, in that couple of seconds, your attention is entirely focused on experience of that self that is beyond mind. In those couple of seconds, there is no mind, yet you still exist. So in the beginning, this exercise may not seem so significant, but massive changes in perception and your experience of yourself, of life, are happening underneath the surface. And if you really carry out this practice, right, daily, consistently, every day, not 5 times a week, not off when you're on vacation, every single day, if you stay consistent with it, you will see how your entire experience of reality shifts, how your sense of self deepens, and how you gain control over the mind and actually get that on and off switch. And not only that on and off switch, but actually more control, more will, more ability to direct not only your mind in a positive way or wherever you want to, but also your life in the way that you want to. It is true power. It is true wisdom. If you want to learn more about this, you can watch my meditation and self-inquiry playlists with all the videos that I've done on those two things on my channel in order to really recognize and stabilize your sense of self as the real I more and more. Okay, because it is the most important thing. It is the foundation upon which you actually create your own reality, which is also what my program helps with. So if you really want to learn this under my guidance and you want to create the life you truly want to live from that higher consciousness mindset where you're coming more from your true place rather than this mind identification place of thinking you have control but you don't, then either watch my free training below or book a call with me. It's a free consult where we decide if it's the right fit for us to work together in my program. Okay, so you could apply for that. Links for everything that I just mentioned are in the description box below. All right, other than that, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I will do my best to get back to you when I can. Otherwise, you could also submit a question in the Google form, in which, in the future, I could always make a video about it, about your question. But I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next video.